Hi there. So I'm going to try to make this concise. I'm not really good at the concise videos, but I'm practicing, so I'm trying. Anyhow, this week we're going to talk about computer software. And so I have five things basically that I want to talk to you about. I'm going to make a whole other video that's going to go with some slides that go into detail about what computer software is all about. Um, but for now, let me just do a screen share and we'll jump right into it. So the place to look always at your grades, if you want to know what's up, is the gradebook. So let me go back here. So you go to important information, gradebook. Usually it will display here. It doesn't always when I'm screen sharing for some reason. But if you click the direct link, it'll show up here. So here's what your job is. Your job is to find your line and make sure I have all your stuff correct. Like make sure nothing's missing. There's a couple of submitted things here that haven't been graded, but just make sure all the scores are what you think they ought to be. If you did any extra credit and if you did any revisions on anything that you had already sent me and you don't see that reflected, please message me on your Discord notes channel. That's the best place to do it. It helps me keep track of it. And if you don't have a notes channel, not everybody has a notes channel, then message me directly. But let me know what week it is. Let me know what the assignment is. Let me know, if there's missing points or if added points or you need it regraded or whatever. Okay. Give me all the details and I'll get in here and I'll update the grade book. This grade book always gets updated by hand. Keep that in mind and first before the assignments get updated. So if you're never sure, if you're not sure if you've turned something in or if I've seen it, go to that important information gradebook, okay? Because that's the place to look. But please send me a message and let me know if I'm missing anything or if anything needs to be fixed, okay? Because there's almost 30 of you and there's one of me. So I'm doing my best to stay on top of things. All right, let's jump down to this week. So this week, we actually have two topics. Make sure you start off with the checklist. The checklist is really good. It always gives you direct links to most of the outside resources. And it gives you a few things like you're not going to see read computer concepts on the week because I don't have a link to it anymore. That's just what you should do. Like I don't have the PDFs past a certain chapter and I don't have this chapter. At this point, we're a third of the way into the class. You ought to have the textbook and you ought to let me know if you don't. Okay. Anyhow, so this ties together. This is the roadmap for the whole week. All right. So make sure you read all that. Back to over here in the think section, I found two videos that I think you're going to find super interesting and that kind of illustrate different aspects of computer software. And like I said, in the other video I'm going to detail what software is, but all you need to know for right now is software is a set of instructions that tells the computer what to do. And so your phone's full of software, your car's got software, your coffee pot might have software. For sure, your computer has software. It's the only way that we can interface with the machine because we don't talk machine language and the machine doesn't talk our language. So there's got to be a common language in there, and that's what software is. Okay. Like I said, we'll get into more detail on that in a different video. So one of these is what you need to know about stalkerware. And just from the title, can you tell? That's not really a good thing, right? Stalkerware. Like, I don't want that on my stuff. Anyhow, the lady that talks about that, she goes into some detail about how she got on the path to creating something that would help people find stalkerware on their phone. And it is just like what it sounds. It can track you, your location. It can track what you're doing, mostly for phones, but sometimes on your computers because your laptops are mobile. You take those places. And so, anyhow, so she talks about stalkerware. And so it kind of sounds like a freaky, scary subject, but it ends in a really good way. And the second one is a global hackathon to take on the coronavirus pandemic. Now, a hackathon is when a bunch of programmers get together. It's kind of like, God, I wish I was a gamer because I know there's a name for this, right? When a bunch of like a LAN party, I guess. Is that what it is? Anyhow, it's like a gaming party, but for computer programmers. And so they try to hack together and come up with a solution to some problems. And so the gentleman that's talking here is from Estonia, I believe, and he's put together this project. So he's going to talk about that and how software development can be used to solve big, important, interesting problems. So moving down the page a little bit, We're going to start off talking about computer software. And this computer software slides and video, right now the slides are there, but they're not going to really make much sense to you until I make the video to go with the slides. Because in class, I would be showing the slides and we'd be talking about it, right? But I wanted to separate that from this video. So hold tight. That'll be there tomorrow, probably by about noon of the video. The slides are there, but the video will be there. And this next part is the GCF software basics tutorial. I love GCF. Definitely take advantage of it. When you click the link, it takes you to this computer basics. But if you scroll down to number 8 and 9, you'll see software basics. Okay, understanding operating systems and understanding applications. Operating systems are a special subset of software that are essential. Like you can't get away without it, and then applications, of course. And you can look at the hardware one, but we're going to do that one next week. So, you don't have to jump the gun right now for that. Now, let's come down to this next section because we're going to learn about presentation software this week. And Google Slides, there's a GCF Learn tutorial on Google Slides. That's the software we're going to use. Some of you might have used PowerPoint. If you have a Macintosh, you might have used oh my goodness, I just lost track of it. Keynote, I think I should know because I have a MacBook, but I don't have that software because I use Google Slides for everything. Anyhow, so those are all just different slide presentation softwares. So if you go to this link, all the Google Drive applications, they have kind of the first 7 tutorials or the general, like here's how you use Google Drive, right? You probably already read that with the word processing one. But come down and read Google Slides. Start at tutorial 8. You can go all the way through. It'll show you all the ins and outs. It's a really easy software to use. Here's the key is that in word processing, you type everything out and you kind of embed pictures and they go to one side or the other. In slide software, you can actually layer things on top. And so sometimes what will happen is somebody will have some text on the page and everything's in a box. Text is in a box, pictures are in a box, videos are in a box, everything's in a box, okay? So you kind of keep that mindset. So you'll have a text box, you'll type in your stuff, and then you'll import a picture. The picture go on top of your box, your text, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, where'd my text go? But you have to remember that things are layered. And so you can move things, bring to front, send to back. You can kind of reorganize things a little bit. So just don't panic if you lose something. Anyhow, the next video, this life after death by PowerPoint, this guy's hilarious. Okay. This is an older video, but he's talking to a business audience about all the things you shouldn't do. But he doesn't really say you shouldn't do them. Well, he kind of does. Anyhow, watch the video. It's only a couple of minutes long and use this as an example of things to not do on my own slides. Okay. I don't want to see any of his stuff on any of your slides. These next two sections, these next two things are how to be a more confident public speaker because slideshow software is used during presentations, right? You've all been in classes where you've seen them. You might have been in organizations or meetings where people use them, or use slides. And so they're getting up talking and the slides are behind them. And as a rule, slides are meant to be seen from across the room, right? Not from the screen. So whenever you give a presentation, if at all possible, you want to try to see what that looks like see if you can get in early and see what it looks like. Because sometimes it looks good on the screen, but doesn't always look good from across the room. Anyhow, there'll be some tips on the actual assignment that give you some guidelines for font sizes and different things, like just some design tips to make your slides better. But these two next videos are how to be a more confident public speaker, because this is a really hard thing for a lot of people. A lot of people really get nervous about talking in public. And believe it or not, I do too. Like I'm an introverted teacher, which is a really weird thing to be because teaching is a performing art. Like I've said that always. You get up in front of the class and man, it's showtime. But if you're introverted, like how many introverts out there? Go ahead, raise your hand. I get it. Um, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. You go home, you're just exhausted after that. So these tips will help you be more confident. This is a fun little video. It's only a couple of minutes long, but it does give some good suggestions. This one, though, I think you'll find really useful. So There's an organization called Toastmasters, and Toastmasters is an international club made up of lots of affiliate chapters. And so in the high desert, I think there's two different ones. There's one in Apple Valley, and I think there's one in Phelan. Um, Down the hill, all kinds of clubs. Anyhow, this particular article gives 25 tips. So before the presentation, during, after, all that. The thing I want you to pay attention to is this video right here. It's near the top, and they've done a whole series of these videos, but this one happens to be on this particular article titled Managing Fear. Because getting up and talking in front of people is scary. And for some people, it's like the worst thing they could ever think of. The example I gave on the assignment was that, and I read this, I don't know if it was Seinfeld that said it or if I actually like saw it in a legitimate spot, but it said that most people would prefer to be in the coffin at a funeral than up front giving the eulogy for the guy that died. Now that says a lot, right? Anyhow, she gives some super good practical tips, like just really good. I watched the video, really good practical tips for how to identify what the problem is and how to manage. The slides comes with some nice templates. I don't know who this lady is, but she just creates, I don't know, there's probably hundreds of templates here at this point. And you can search for them by theme, like if you want playful things, you can, scroll down and let's see, let me find one. She's added some new ones. Let's say I want to look at this one. And so you can look at her. So this is a confetti one. You can look at the slides. You can come down here. It gives you some details. You can actually kind of scroll through the slides because it has all kinds of different layouts. This is a really cute one. I might actually download this one. And then if you decide you want to use it, you click use as a Google slide theme. And what will happen is it'll open up. Then you have to click use this template. She's not going to let you edit her slides, obviously, right? So use the template, and then it opens it up in your Google Drive. So boom, here it is in mine. My recommendation is you save it as a template. Okay. So it's got all this other stuff here so that you save it. And then when you come back to your drive, you open it or you make a copy. You go to File, make a copy, and then edit the copy. Okay. Give it a new name, edit the copy. Because if you edit this, you're going to lose, like you may not use all of these, so you might delete them, but then next time you might want to use them. Anyhow, she has details on her page about how to use this. Visit our YouTube channel with how-to tutorials, and she's got a lot of really good resources. She's been doing this for several years. So anyhow, that's on the bottom of the presentation assignment. So when are we going to do this and how are we going to do this? The plan is that the next time we meet in Zoom, which is in 2 weeks, so the week 9, is that people will have their 2 to 4 minutes to do a slide share and to talk about their slides. And it's kind of it kind of wraps in a lot of really good outcomes because I usually share stuff when we're in Zoom, right? So I know how to do it, but it gives you an opportunity to learn how to use this really common business software, two business softwares. Okay. So we're using video conferencing software and we're using slide software to share. And so it kind of wraps those two together really nicely. And it makes it work out really well. There are some other options that are possible if you contact me. So if you prefer not to do it in class, or if you want to make a video of it, like what I do here in Zoom, there's some other options, but ignoring it, not the option. A couple of people have been ignoring stuff and it's showing up in the grade book. It's a fun assignment. It's super fun to hear all the variety of different things that people are interested in. I'm really excited about that. Read through everything, jump right in, make sure you sign up for Zoom, and I'll see you guys online.